Peace. What's going on, everybody? Give everybody a chance to scroll on in before I dive into the topic for the day. Hopefully, you all are having a positive and powerful Saturday. Hopefully, everything is going smooth for you all. Y'all staying healthy. Y'all staying productive. Y'all staying active. Getting some healthy foods in, getting some exercising in, getting that motion in, because motion is medicine. So hopefully everything is smooth right now for you. We're gonna do us some light building today, some light building on this wonderful Saturday. Give everybody that chance to scroll on in before we start the build. Like I said, I hope everybody is peaceful and positive and powerful right now. Zucko, what's going on? Peace. I'm Nipping and Goldie. Peace. What's going on with you? How y'all living? How y'all holding up? Hopefully y'all maintaining. I'm Nipping and Goldie. We got what's today, the 26th. So we got wisdom, equality, all being born to build and destroy. And that's basically just moving in equality, moving in that centered fashion. And that gives you the ability to build on the positive and destroy that negative. So that's the simple mathematics for the day. Peace from black man to the world. What's going on? What's going on with you, fam? Yeah, we gotta do us some light building today, man. I know this is a topic that a lot of you all can relate to, just being social outcasts. Sweet Tea, what's going on? All right, Zucko, and I'm nipping it. There y'all go. Keep on maintaining, keep on elevating, keep on evolving. Understand that you are perfection and things of that nature, all that good stuff. TZ Frank, peace, what's going on? Lindell, peace, what's going on with you? But I know this is a topic that a lot of you all can relate to, man, as far as just being a social outcast, man, trying to interact with society and try to get along with society when society doesn't necessarily get along with you or your perception. Lachelle, peace, what's going on? Like, I'm pretty sure you all that's tuning in can relate to that. I can relate to that heavy because my viewpoints doesn't necessarily correlate with the average and normal viewpoint. Hey, blessed and positively charged. There we go. Got to keep it moving like that. I like that energy. But we gotta build on how to conduct ourselves, man, when dealing with the masses. When dealing with the masses. I mean, because it's the fact of it is not trying to place ourselves on like a pedestal, but at the end of the day, when you come across certain pieces of information, even when you indulge in certain habits, like I'm gonna just go and I'm gonna dive into my habit of being an avid reader. You know how many weird looks I get when I bring out my books in public? Something as simple as me reading in public draws attention, and it draws a bunch of weird stares and whatnot. Just me bringing out a book. So it's just like weird things like that. So when you just normally being yourself, like simple stuff that we do, like reading a book, that's going to generate all type of weird attention, weird vibes, to the point where sometimes you don't even want to pull out that book because you don't really feel like discussing why you are reading a book to another adult. It should be obvious. I should be left alone. That's almost like putting on headphones for me. When I pull out that book, don't bother me, man, because I'm immersed in that knowledge, man. So let me read. Let me dive into these pages. Don't come and ask me why I'm reading like it's a crime for an adult to be reading. Children in school are not the only ones that are supposed to keep their heads in a book. If anything, once you get out of school, that's when you really start learning. Oh, Shane, peace, what's going on? So it's just it's simple stuff like that, man. Like, that's what makes it hard sometimes to just interact with the masses, man. Just that little small habit I have of reading. When I pull out my books, man, just a lot of people just staring at me like, man, what are you doing? Why are you reading books? Who reads books? And this, that, and the third. And then especially in 2020, when I pull out the paperback or the hardback, they really looking at me crazy because we can be reading these ebooks and things like that. I don't necessarily do all of that. Montel, peace, what's going on? All from black men to the world, most definitely. They don't like to see that black man reading that book. They gotta question you. You must be in school. Nah, I just like that knowledge. I just like getting that information. I just like gathering that data. But they always gotta assume that we are in school simply because we are out here choosing to read a book. And I'm nipping and Goldie, man. When I used to be in the bookstore, man, the looks I used to get. I guess somebody such as myself doesn't have the right or shouldn't be in a bookstore buying books, because I used to get stared at. Amber, peace, what's going on? How you living? How you holding up? 1228 the Great, what's going on? Donna C, we got the queen in the building. We got several queens in the building. How y'all holding up? But yeah, man, like when I talk about being a social outcast, that's one of the things that I face, man. Indulging in the habit of reading. When you do it out in public, man, it's hard to be comfortable reading a book in public because of the stares and the attention that's going to generate. And even when you're striving to eat healthy, that's another problem that I face when striving to eat healthy. You eating fruits and veggies and people telling you you need to eat real food and stuff like that. So that is the part that I'm talking about, that it makes it complicated. It makes it complicated to interact with the masses. So it's not necessarily that you placing yourself on this pedestal, but we know and understand that it's a large percentage of the population that generate, or they travel down this one lane and we choose to go this other lane. It's a small percentage of us. We are the minority. So we got to learn how to deal with that majority. And we just got to, that's something that we really got to learn to deal with. So we got to learn how to conduct ourselves, man, when dealing with the masses, man. But first, when we dive into a topic like that, we got to know and understand who the masses are. Who are these people? And I come from a culture. Oh yeah, Montel, man, I appreciate that, man. It's always a pleasure, man, to have you tuned in, to have all of y'all tuned in. Oh, 1228 the Great. Yeah, don't even get me started on that, man. They probably feeling guilty, which is why their feelings are being hurt. So they probably feel guilty. You probably struck a nerve. You know how it is when you hit that nerve, man. When you hit that nerve, they get real sensitive. Like that's what happens on the physical level. When that nerve is hit, it's sensitive, man. You feel that pain, don't feel too good. So when you do the same thing on that mental level, get the same reaction. Strike that nerve, it doesn't feel good. So that's why they start getting offensive. I'm not even gonna say offensive, they get defensive. James Brown, peace, what's going on? So now I was building on who the masses are. All right. So coming from my culture, the 5% nation, the guys in earth, we got a definition for the masses. We call them the 85% because we break everything down in a percentage, under a percentage basis. That's how we view everything. We got the 85, you got the 5, and you got the 10%. So the 85% would be these masses of people that I'm talking about that we got to learn to interact with. We got to learn how to conduct ourselves amongst this 85%. And that's a lesson in our 120 degrees. And that's lesson number 14. It's the 14th degree in the 1 to 40. And I can quote that degree verbatim so you all can know and understand the viewpoint that I'm about to come from when I'm talking about the masses. And it's basically, the question is, who is the 85%? The answer would be they are the uncivilized people, the poison animal eaters, slaves from a mental death and power, people who do not know who the true and living God is or their origin in this world, who worship that which they know not of, those who are easily led in the wrong direction, but hard to be led in the right direction. That is how we define that 85%, those masses. And that last sentence is the crucial sentence to focus on. That is the crucial sentence to focus on. Those who are easily led in the wrong direction, but hard to be led in the right direction. Those are the type of individuals that we dealing with. When we know and understand that lesson, when we let that lesson marinate, then we have a better idea of how to deal with said individuals, because we know that it's easy to lead those individuals in the wrong direction. It's going to be harder to lead them in the right direction. So when you coming with, and I'm going to go to 1228 the Great, for example, When you start talking about eating meat, the dangers of eating meat, and how you should switch over to a plant-based lifestyle. Now let's take this lesson and apply to that. We talking about, peace, God, most definitely. No, I had to quote it. Got to quote the degrees. But applying that lesson to what you just stated about eating the meat. So again, it's easy to lead those people in the wrong direction, which is to consume these toxic foods, which would be to consume the meat, the dairy products, and all the sugar. But when you start talking about transitioning over to that plant-based lifestyle, that's the right direction. That's the direction that they should be traveling down. So it's going to be harder to get those people to see that truth, opposed to getting that person to, not getting that person, but it'd be harder to get that person to see the truth, opposed to leading them down that wrong path. It was much easier, or it is much easier, to get those people to consume that toxic food and live that toxic lifestyle. But when you start trying to teach them the truth, it's hard to get them in that right direction. And that's just the science. That's the math of life. So we got to be patient when we are dealing with these individuals, because it's going to be harder to help them transition over to that right path, that right lifestyle, because that's just the math and that's just the science of life. And you can just analyze that in your everyday average life. I mean, I know you all deal with these people. I can't be the only one that have these type of interactions and experiences. Like, I know we all have had experiences when dealing with these type of individuals. And that's just an actual fact. It's hard to get them to really see the truth. But when the media comes out and they promote a lie, they swallow that lie up. That's the wrong direction. So we see how easy it is for them to consume that lie and live out that lie. But when the truth is presented to them, then all of a sudden they turn into interrogators and they got to ask question after question after question. But when it comes to that lie, they don't ask any question. They just swallow it up. And we see that with the media all the time. They easily accept that lie, because that's that wrong direction that I'm talking about. But when it comes to that truth, then they want to ask you question after question after question. But when you come from the culture that I come from, we stand on our square, so we can present all the evidence that's needed. But that still doesn't necessarily equate to them accepting that truth, accepting that evidence. So it's going to be up to them at the end of the day to make that decision, whether or not as to whether they want to walk that right path or not. So that's going to be their decision at the end of the day. So that's another thing that you got to know and understand. It's up to them. It's up to them. So you can tell them right from wrong, but it's up to them to accept it and then to live out that right or live out that wrong. You can give them the options. You can give them the choices. You can give them the information. You can give them the evidence. You can give them the data. They got to make the decision. They got to make the decision. And a lot of times we get, especially when it's like close friends, family members, and things like that, we tend to get overly emotional because we are attached to said individuals because of the relationship that we have to them. But you got to understand that reality. You can only give them the information. You can only give them that knowledge. You can only give them that evidence. Then it's up to them to make that decision. Point blank, period. You cannot stress over that. And then you got to know and understand how hard it's going to be for that person to start walking down that right path. It's easy to get them in that wrong path, man. So I got to continue to say that, man, because repetition is king. Let that resonate, man. So when the moment you present the truth to a person, they're not just gonna immediately accept that truth. It doesn't work like that, especially when you've been consuming these lies for 30, 35 plus years, even 20, 25 plus years. If you've been living a lie for 25 to 30 years, then when somebody comes out and tell you that everything that you've been living up to that point is a lie, that's going to be met with a lot of resistance. So you got to understand that. You got to understand that. So again, like if somebody's been eating meat for 30, 35 years and you let them know like, hey, you don't need to be consuming that. Of course, they're not just going to accept it out the gate. If they do, that's a rare occasion. And if you get somebody that accepts it out the gate, then cool, because I was pretty much that person that accepted that out the gate. Once I came across that knowledge, I didn't argue with it. I came across it for a reason, so I acted on it. But 9 times out of 10, 9.5 times out of 10, you're going to get met with resistance when you are striving to present the truth. So like they say, you gotta choose your battles wisely. The same applies when interacting with the masses. You gotta choose your battles wisely, meaning you gotta choose who you present certain pieces of information to wisely. Be mindful of who you present certain pieces of information to and with. That is crucial. If you analyze in the ways and actions of a person, which you should do because that's the one, you analyze and you examine it. So when you analyze a person's ways and actions, and with your analysis, you come to the conclusion that it would be worthless or pointless to share certain pieces of information with that person, do not do it. Do not waste your time. Do not waste your energy. We don't want to do that. We don't like to waste energy. We don't like to waste time. So you don't need to be trying to share this information with any and everybody. Point blank, period. (1228) the Great, most definitely. And that's why I say it always comes down to the person. Because at the end of the day, we all have that, what they call that aha moment, that light bulb moment. So it's going to be something that transpires in their lives that causes it to click. Like, man, I need to stop eating meat. It's going to be something that they come across. It's going to be something that they come across that's going to create that aha moment for the ones that need to act on it. For the ones that need to act on it, man, once you present the evidence to them, once you present the information to them, you've done your job, you've done your duty. Then when they have their aha moment and they decide to make that transition, then it's like all the information that was fed to them by you and other people that was telling them what to do, all of it will click at that instance. So you can continue to plant that seed, man. But when they had that aha moment, then everything that was told to them about that subject matter is going to click. Because again, one thing about it, the way the subconscious works, like they not forgetting all this information. They not forgetting this truth that you're speaking to them. They not forgetting that. They not forgetting that. It's deep down in the subconscious. The subconscious is accepting that reality. It's accepting that evidence, that data, that information. It's accepting it. It's storing it. So the more you repeat it to them, the more it's being stored. So that's going to lead to that aha moment. So again, you can practice repetition depending on the individual. Again, like I said, we don't want to waste energy. We don't want to waste time with certain individuals. We're not doing that. But there are certain individuals, loved ones, that may need to hear and act on certain pieces of information that we may possess or that we may even be interested in. So when we come across the answer, then we need to supply them with the answer. So then that's when you got to practice repetition. You almost got to do some mind control on them. You got to keep repeating certain pieces of information so that they can continue to bury it to the point where they're going to have that aha moment a little bit faster than the everyday average Joe that you may deal with once a week or something. (1228) the Great, that's the thing of it is. A lot of people know that it's an actual fact. A lot of people know it's reality. A lot of people know it's the truth. So a lot of people know that. A lot of people know that. They just don't want to accept that. They just don't want to accept it. And then it's that accountability factor, man. It's that accountability factor. People do not like holding themselves accountable for their condition. Like no accountability at all, especially when it comes to our health. We do not like holding ourselves accountable for our health, man. And we got to stop doing that. We got to stop doing that. We got to stop being like that. Yeah, 1228 the Great. And I can build on that in regards to like the keto diet and things like that. Like a lot of people just gravitating towards this keto diet, the high protein, low carb, high fat type diet type of lifestyle. People don't even know the origins of that. People don't know the origins of weight loss techniques and programs at all, to the point where they don't even realize and understand that at one point the total opposite of what they are doing now was being pushed on people in order to get them to lose weight. And people were seeing results from that. High carb, low protein, low fat. So it's like, man, just do the knowledge, just do some research, man. And then you will come across organic answers. Not these artificial programs and these diets, these routines, these regimens, where people just trying to basically capitalize off of your ignorance. Like we talk about knowing the ledge so you won't fall off and enter that pit of ignorance. You got to know the ledge, man. You got to do the knowledge, man. They capitalizing off of our ignorance. We got to stop being ignorant to the point we accept anything. Like the keto lifestyle should be something that off the rip doesn't make any sense to you. Like off the rip, we should look at that and we should question that, but we don't. We don't. So that's why I know that it's still a lot of work to do on the fitness end, on my end, because we still got, like, every other person that I come in contact with is following that type of lifestyle as if it's something healthy. As if it's something healthy. What healthy population do you know live like that? What healthy population do you know consumes a high protein, high fat, low carb lifestyle? You will not find one. But they got us over here accepting that, believing that's the key to our problems in this country. Like they setting us up in the long term. They setting us up for all type of kidney issues, man, with this high protein lifestyle. Like you gotta ask yourself again, even with the keto, you gotta ask yourself, what industries benefit the most from that type of lifestyle? You obviously got the meat industry, meat and dairy. They benefit a lot from a keto type of lifestyle. So you got to ask yourself, why is something like this being pushed? Man, that's meat and that's dairy. That's meat and dairy to a T. They making money off of the keto lifestyle because they telling you can eat this bacon. They telling you can eat those eggs, that butter, and this cheese. They are profiting off of that lifestyle. Lindell, it's not heritage. It's not. They say your genes attribute to about, I think it was at 5% as to whether or not you will come down with an ailment, like a disease, an ailment, an illness, whatever the case may be. Genes account for about 5% of that. So your genes represent only a 5% chance of you coming out with that ailment, that disease, or that illness. It's only 5%. The other 95% is environmental factors. So the reason why we are susceptible to a lot of these diseases, 95% of that is environmental factors. Only 5% is related or pertaining to our genes. So while I'm not totally writing it off, I'm letting you know it's a small percentage that is hereditary. It's only 5%. It's only 5%. So again, your genes, like they say, they load the gun, but that your lifestyle pulls that trigger. The environmental factors, that's your lifestyle, that pulls the trigger. So that's the reason why we are susceptible to a lot of these ailments, to a lot of these diseases, because of our lifestyles. Like our lifestyles contribute to all of that. 95% revolves around the environment, the lifestyle. We got to make better choices. We got to make better decisions in regards to not only what we consume, but like our environments, who we choose to hang around. Getting proper rest, things of that nature. $12.28 the Great. And I'm going to ask you, I'm not even going to ask you this question. It's just something for people to ponder on. When you're talking about, like, just from a religious perspective, all the religious figures, most of them were actually, and again, this is hypothetically speaking, as if they existed, but most of them were like vegetarians. Even when you go, that's why most of the Buddhists are vegetarian. Like when you study Buddhism, like most of them are vegetarian. Like the religious figures were predominantly vegetarian. Because again, when you read the Bible, and I broke this up when I talked about the blue zones. One of the blue zone groups, the 7-day Adventists, they are religious folks. They got their dietary laws from the Bible. The Bible is letting you know to be that vegetarian, to be that vegan, to eat plant-based. So again, even the biblical, even the Bible is letting you know how you should be consuming food. All of these religious books are letting you know that. Most of those holy books, most of the religious books, they advocate a plant-based lifestyle. Most of them. Zucko, man, that's why I don't that's why I don't have large circles, because that's what tends to happen. That's what tends to happen. People get intimidated by you, especially when you just when you just naturally shine, when you have that natural light to you. A lot of people get intimidated by that. So the more people you hang around, the more people you given the ability to get upset with you, get intimidated by you, or hate on you, be envious of you, be jealous of you. So you giving more people the opportunity to be intimidated by choosing to hang around more people. So that's why I keep it small. That's why I keep it small. Because that's going to happen. That's going to happen, especially with my breakdown of the masses. That's going to happen. That's going to happen. So we got to deal with it mathematically. Like the more people you're dealing with, the more of an opportunity you have of people to become jealous, envious, have this hatred for you or towards you for no apparent reason other than you are choosing to be yourself and you are naturally shining by being yourself. People can't stand that because a lot of people are artificial. A lot of people are artificial because, like I said, they don't know what their foundation is. They don't know who they truly are. So they get envious of the person who knows themselves. They cannot stand that. They cannot tolerate that. So you don't want to hang around a lot of people under those circumstances who don't know who they are. So therefore, they're going to hate on you for knowing who you are. You got to watch those type of crowds. Kevin, peace. What's going on? Benjamin, those are cool. Yeah, definitely the sea moss and the burdock root. You know, food with that elderberry. Elderberry syrup is clutch. Kelp powder. That's another good one. But I've been kind of weaning myself off of all the supplements. I might just do some little powders and whatnot, keep it moving. Oh yeah, 1228 the Great. Like when you study history, you're gonna find a lot of like even when you go to like the Greeks, man, they have said like Socrates was a vegetarian, like all them cats, they were saying they most of them were vegetarian. Dizzy Peace, what's going on? So most of the wise minds, man, when people come into enlightenment, most of them became vegetarian, became plant-based. Because again, when you doing the knowledge, man, when you coming into this enlightenment, that by default, you're gonna come across that type of lifestyle. You're gonna start to question the things that you are eating. So it's no wonder to me that all these people that were striving for enlightenment and may have even reached that level that they were consuming a plant-based type of diet. Doesn't surprise me, doesn't shock me. Because like I said, when I was coming into this knowledge, that was one of the first things that crossed my mind. And then that was one of the first pieces of information that I came across was to how to properly eat. And like I said, at that time, I was still dealing with religion a little bit. So it was right there in the Bible, right there in Genesis, letting me know how I should be eating. So everything just started resonating, clicking, and making sense. But you're not about to come across all this enlightenment and not strive to change your lifestyle from a nutritional standpoint. Hence why I don't take a lot of brothers serious who drop all this knowledge, but yet they not striving to take care of themselves physically and mentally. So I'm not taking you serious when that's the case. When that's the case, man, you got all this knowledge. You need to be utilizing this knowledge yourself. Oh, Shane, I mean, I think they were more so vegetarian because for one, it was natural. It was normal. Like that's like naturally, that's how you're supposed to be living anyway. So it made sense. It made sense. Because even when you look at things right now, I mean, let's just say the reason why people consume meat right now is because it's easily accessible. That's part of the problem because it's easy to process. The meat's easily accessible. That's the problem. That's actually what's killing us. If we didn't have all this access to meat, then by default, most of us would live that normal vegetarian lifestyle. Because again, it's natural, that's normal. So that could have been one of the reasons. But when you study some of their words and study some of their work, then they let you know that you shouldn't be eating that because it's like poisonous. So that could have factored into the equation, but they still had knowledge of you're not supposed to consume animal products or consume meat. So they still had that knowledge. Benjamin, man, basically, as an introvert and loner, how do I set out to accomplish since unity and teamwork is needed? See, again, it goes back to when I was telling you to basically write down your strengths, your weaknesses, what type of environments do you see yourself excelling in, what type of environments are not for you. That was one of the things that I had to jot down, that I don't necessarily care for teamwork. So believe it or not, like I don't like to work in teams like at all. Like at all, because more than likely 9 times out of 10, like your voice is really not being heard. You're getting crowded out by the majority because again, your views, your perceptions are going to go against the norm. So when you got 10 people in a room or 10 people on a team, 9 of them think one way, you think the other way, then you not being heard. So I was never a fan of working in teams. I need to do something that's more solo dolo. Hence why I'm doing what I'm doing here. Hence why I had to open up my own gym instead of working in somebody else's gym. So I can make the rules. So I can make my own rules. So with that being said, as an introvert, as somebody that considers themselves a loner, then you just got to seek out those avenues that will allow you to put in that work without having to deal with or commit to a team. The things that I'm doing right now, I don't necessarily have to commit to other people. So you just got to find those things that you can do that doesn't enable you or doesn't allow you to have to deal with a team, a group of people. And there's plenty of things that you can do, like affiliate marketing. Like you can easily do that without having to rely and depend upon a team. So there's a lot of things that you can do depending on what it is that you're interested in or what you are pursuing. It's a lot of things that you can do that doesn't involve working with a team, a group of people. In 1228 the Great, we are definitely herbivores, and some people argue that we are frugivores, meaning we are predominantly supposed to consume fruit. And I did that video a few videos ago. Zucko, I don't think I can't recall ever having an experience like that. I'm trying to think, but I don't think I've ever had an experience like that. Because one thing I'm really not going to tolerate is like disrespect, whether or not I'm minding my business. Like I don't really do too well with like disrespect. Like if you disrespect me, especially when I'm around loved ones, then I'm gonna have to clap back to let you know that you might not want to try that. So at times, man, you gotta let people know that disrespect ain't gonna be tolerated. So that's how I have to get down at times. Like, you're not about to be doing that. That's not gonna fly, period. And then I keep it moving. Benjamin, I'm gonna give you a prime example basically of what I'm doing now. See, we talking about working in groups, and we talking about committing to a team in regards to getting work done. There are a lot of endeavors that you can indulge in solo dolo. Now, you may need customers and clients. It's a different ball game. I'm talking about working with a group of people in regards to like manifesting a project or something like that. Like when you in corporate America and you working with a team, a group of people, you don't necessarily need that in order to reach a certain level financially. You can do things from a solo perspective to the point where all you need to do is get the customers and get the clients. Now, if we dealing with that, then again, now you got to weed out the people that you are able to deal with and tolerate. So I got a certain type of person that I can deal with. I have certain types of people that I can deal with. Then I make sure I see to it that I only work with those types of individuals. So then you got to make sure you more so in control of your environment and your element so that you can work with who you want to work with and not work with who you are forced to work with. So when you are an introvert and when you consider yourself a loner, there are certain people who you can mesh with. You got to create an environment to where you work with those people. So when you are a loner and an introvert, you got to be more in control in regards to like what you do to earn a living. You have to be in control. Otherwise, you may not make it. So you got to be in control so you can choose who you work with and who you will not work with. That's important for someone that's an introvert or someone that's a loner. Got to be in control. And like I said, it's a lot of ways that you can do that. And it's a lot of things that you can do and pursue, especially with the internet. Man, there's a lot of things that you can do on this internet that all you got to do is just know how to create a simple website. And you don't got to work with anybody. And matter of fact, nobody even has to know that you are behind the website. Lindell, exactly. Like I said, I've been practicing social distancing before COVID-19. That's my natural, normal way of life, to socially distance myself. Oh yeah, they capitalize off laziness and ignorance. Laziness and ignorance. Oh, Dizzy, yeah, I checked it out, fam. And when you had, I was up in the gym too when you had tagged me in the story. Most definitely, I fool with it. Benjamin, matter of fact, not even find your own lane. You got to create your own lane. You got to be a creator. You got to create your own lane. It's the only way that you're gonna make it. It's the only way that I was gonna make it. I wasn't gonna make it having to interact with corporate America and with the masses for 9 or 10 hours a day. I just wasn't gonna make it like that. So I had to create my own lane. And that's working out for me. Yeah, Sean, you gotta watch it, man. When you dealing with a lot of brothers, man, that competitive nature tends to get the best of them. So they start to hating, being overly jealous. They might try to steal your work, like you just said, take all the credit for it. It gets real. It gets real. I've actually had, and people wonder why the corporate structure is the way that it is. Sometimes people will see like you will have that white male at the top, and he'll have a bunch of women as his secretaries and things like that in the office and all that. It's a reason why they hire a lot of women and not other men. And I've had men tell me that, I'm not hiring a bunch of other men to work for me because of that exact reason. I think even Dame Dash talked about that. I think that was Dame Dash that did an interview about some years ago where he mentioned that. So that's common, which is sad, man. But it's just like it's that testosterone, man. Like at a certain point, man, that one of them brothers gonna get, if you got a group of 5, at a certain point, one of them brothers gonna feel like you trying to outshine them, and then it's gonna turn into a competition. When at the end of the day, that's not what it is. And that's not what it should be. But when it comes to like secretary work, administrative work, man, you gonna see if a lot of dudes are in charge, they gonna hire women. It's not that a dude can't do that type of work, but it's just like, nah, man, it's gonna turn into a competition. But I've had a lot of men in the corporate world tell me that. Dizzy, it's most definitely one of them laws of power, which I still got to do a video on that particular book. I got to do a video on the 48 laws of power. It's a lot of mixed feelings about that book, and I definitely want to do a video on it to kind of break it down from my perspective and see how y'all view it and see it. Adrian, peace, what's going on with you? But when it comes to like interacting with the masses, man, with the public, I'd say my biggest my biggest battle there, my biggest battle in regards to dealing with the masses and dealing with the public is just gossip. Like that, it drains me. I don't know if you all, like, I don't know if this applies to you all, but it's like my biggest beef. It's gossip, and then like the negative, like people, I've understood and realized something about a lot of people. I realize a lot of people just simply complain. Like I paid attention to this being in corporate America, man. A lot of people just, all they do day in and day out is complain. They complain and they gossip, and then wonder why things are not changing. Wonder why things are not going in their favor. Complaining, gossip. It's the common denominators for me that I have noticed in interacting with the masses. That's why I don't tend to fit in, because I don't care to complain and I don't care to really gossip. Like I care to build, man. I want to talk about things that's productive. But the crazy thing about that is when you striving to be one of the individuals such as myself, which is why I just tend to lay low. When you one of the ones that like to build on information, they tell you that you are too serious. And matter of fact, let's say you work an 8-hour day. You just want to build for 30 minutes on something that's serious, and they label you as the serious person because they done been joking for 7 hours out of the day, or they've been gossiping, complaining for 7 hours. And you like, man, for like 1 hour or 30 minutes, man, let's just build on something productive or positive. Now all of a sudden you just a serious person. You always serious. It's like, nah, man, when the Buddhists talked about right speech, I value that. Speak when it's important. Don't waste your energy. That mindless chatter, that mindless gossip. Like how we elevating from that? How we elevating from that? Like people don't understand. People think silence is a bad thing. Not necessarily. If anything, I'm being more observant. I'm collecting my thoughts. I'm able to construct a proper answer. I'm coming up with solutions because I'm thinking. All the chattering that we do is not allowing us to find those solutions. It's not allowing us to think properly. It's not allowing us to do those type of things. But when you sit still, you embrace stillness, you embrace silence, you are able to do those type of things. That's why I don't like to gossip. That's why I don't like to complain. So all that time that you spend yapping, and complaining, you're not going to be able to come up with a solution. You're not going to be able to come up with a solution to your problems. You just gossiping and complaining all day, because that's where all your energy and your focus is going. All your energy is going towards that which you are complaining about. And that's going to resonate with you subconsciously to where you're just going to continue to manifest conditions and circumstances that revolve around that in which you are complaining about. So we got to stop all of that. And that's one thing that I have noticed that a lot of us do. We complain and we do not seek out any type of solutions. Problematic. So when I see people doing that, I distance myself from that. I don't want to get caught up in that because that stuff is contagious. Negativity, complaining is contagious. When you get around a bunch of people that's complaining, you about to start finding things to complain about. And I want no parts of that. So I got to shut down, man. When people start complaining around me, I'm going to stop talking. I may leave the room. Like, I don't have time I don't want to be consumed by that energy. So I got to leave. I'm not about to engage in that conversation, especially if we gossiping about, you gossiping about somebody, talking about them in a negative light. Like, man, I don't got time to be doing that. I don't have time to be doing that. That's the wrong type of energy that I'm distributing. I wouldn't want that energy coming back on me, man. So I'm not about to distribute that energy, man. So I'm real mindful of that energy that I distribute. Oh, Shane, yeah, that's the first law. Don't outshine your master. But the thing of it is, we might as well just eliminate the word master. Don't outshine the masses. Like, the masses can't take that. Nobody can take when you outshine them. Nobody. And basically, and you ain't, matter of fact, we could rewrite that law. We might as well just rewrite that first law. Never outshine your master. Rewrite it to never shine. Just never shine. That should be the first law. Never shine. Because the moment you start to shine, the moment you start to be yourself, it's a problem. It's a problem for the higher ups, for the lower downs, and for the people in the middle. It's a problem. It's a problem. Just simply shining. So it ain't even about outshining, man. Just you simply shining, embracing yourself, being yourself is going to cause problems. Demon, what's going on? And yeah, most definitely. We got to just stop complaining and find those solutions. It's just that simple. Acknowledge the problem, then you seek out solutions. It's just that simple. Acknowledge what the problem is. Now we're going to seek out the solutions. How do we solve said problem? Lindell, I don't utilize African American. I utilize original people. We are the original people, and that's how I refer to us. We are the original people. Oh yeah, lies. Yeah, lies gonna spread, man, because we like that. We like those lies. Like I said, we easily led in the wrong direction. We love those lies. We love them. We love them. That's why they spread, because we love them. We hate the truth, so we're not gonna spread that. We can't accept the truth, so we're not gonna spread that. But if it's a lie, we love that, so we're gonna spread that in which we love. So we love the lie, so we spread that. Yeah, Donna, see, it's something that we definitely came up around. Hence why we got to break that cycle, because it just gets ridiculous. I'm telling, like, I've literally went. I have went work weeks, not days. I have went weeks with people just complaining. Not just days, not just 8 hours, man, weeks. Like, you can complain the whole week and wonder why things are not going in your favor. Like, that's not going to work. It's not going to work. So, Adrian, you want to, okay. So, wait a minute. Adrian, when you talk about being a minority, are you referring to that on a mental aspect, or are you referring to that as us, like original people being a minority in this country? So first, I need to get your perspective on what you mean in regards to us being a minority. Are you talking about having that minority mindset, or are you talking about original people being minorities in this country? Like, I need to know the answer to that first before I answer that particular question. But yeah, I have a problem, man, just dealing with the masses on that regard. So a lot of times I got to neutralize a lot of that negativity, because a lot of it you forced to be around because maybe you got to work with these people and whatever the case may be. So you can't just necessarily leave it. So with that being said, you just got to neutralize it like mentally. So that's why I would shut down sometime and think about some other stuff to the point where it's like I'm in my own world. So I tend to do that when I'm amongst other people a lot. I get off into my own zone in my own world. I got to start thinking about some other stuff, because if I allow their energy to consume me, which it will, then it's going to be a problem. So you got to neutralize that energy. So that's crucial, man. You got to neutralize. You got to learn how to neutralize and not become your environment. Don't become a product of your environment. Produce the type of environment that you need or want. So we got to be producers. Stop being consumers. Okay, Demond Harris, yeah, the autobiography of Malcolm X, one of my favorite joints. Art of War, another crucial joint. I'm reading the joint, man. I'm actually revisiting a book, Theology of Time by Elijah Muhammad. That joint crucial. That joint crucial. And Demond, I can tell, like, a lot of people, and I was talking to a brother about this yesterday, man. A lot of people think that like being out here marching and protesting is the only way to spark change within your people. So a lot of times people will use that as a badge of honor. Oh, I'm out here protesting. When? What are you doing? And I was chopping it up with a brother, man. We about the same age, man. And he just gave kudos to me for basically opening up his mind. Because when I met the brother, man, he thought he prejudged me based off of the way that I look. He admit this to me all the time. He prejudged me based off of the way that I look. You know, locks. I was quiet. I wasn't saying nothing. And I worked with the brother. So this is how we knew each other. So I came into the job. I didn't talk to a lot of people, had locks. So he prejudged me based off of that, had this negative perception of me. But one day he happened to mention Malcolm X. And that's why this is relevant, because Demond mentioned it. So one day he happened to mention Malcolm X. And then that's when I opened my mouth, because again, right speech. I speak when it's important. So when the brother mentioned Malcolm X, that's when I jumped up and I started building with the brother. And that's when I gave him the message to the black man by Elijah Muhammad. And ever since then, my brother has been going in with the knowledge and the information. And it all stemmed from that. It all stems from that. So people ask me what I'm doing. I'm doing like little small things like that. That's big to me. That's big to me. Just being able to spark that change in another brother. Like, that's huge to me. And then for the brother to give me the credit. Like that's big. That's big. That's stuff that won't get publicized. Won't nobody see that. Like, nobody will see that particular scenario unfold. But people can see, like, a lot of people honestly are out here protesting just for the show. They out here taking these selfies. Ironically, they taking some nice selfies while they out here protesting. So that's why a lot of people just go out there for that reason. They don't really care about any type of change being created or manifesting. They out here for show just to say that they did it. It's like a resume builder. I'm out here protesting. What are you doing? I'm protesting in a totally different way. Totally different way. But a lot of, like, they don't publicize that. They don't show the type of protesting that I'm doing. But I've legit had people kind of question me in that regard because of my view on protesting. I'm not one of the ones that's going to be out here marching, being on the front lines like that. That's just not something that, in my opinion, I feel works. It's more so being reactionary, man, instead of being proactive with it. That's why I don't too much care for that particular approach. That's something that you want to do. I understand it, but to me, that's not a viable solution to the larger problem. And I'm focused on that. I'm focusing on solving that larger issue. And that larger issue is, one of them is knowledge of self. So it's sparking that change in brothers to get them to see the greatness within themselves. So me doing that, that's really changing the world. That's taking that proactive approach. Benjamin, that's why I was gonna get into that. Hence why I asked the question about about minority. I was gonna get into that. But if we just talking about having that minority mindset, like that mindset that is rare, you know, black sheep, social outcast type of mentality. I mean, the way that I pretty much survive and thrive in any type of environment is because I'm comfortable with who I am. I'm comfortable with who I am. I'm confident in my abilities. So being confident and being comfortable is how I survive and thrive in any environment. Listen, I can go to the whitest part of town and I'm comfortable. I'm confident. I can go to the blackest part of town and I'm comfortable and I'm confident. I can go to a more diverse part of town and I'm comfortable and I'm confident. So I'm good. I know exactly how to conduct myself in any and every environment because I'm so comfortable, confident. I'm aware of myself. So those three things, just being confident, comfortable, and aware, allows me to determine how to conduct myself in any and every environment. So that's all. That's the key right there, man. Being confident, being comfortable, being aware of self. Adrian, most definitely. And when you moved by that, you got to reevaluate your approach and your energy and your vibe. You never want to act based off of just being motivated by proving other people wrong. That should never be your motive. That should never be your motive for motivation. That should never be your motive for motivation. If you fueled by proving other people wrong, you got to reevaluate it. You got to reevaluate it. So you never want to move under those conditions, under those terms. DT Peace, what's going on? SG, what's going on? Adrian, I believe I actually heard about that book. I haven't read it, but I've heard about it. Yeah, doing the same. I can make a whole video about that too, doing the same job title as your counterpart. And then what starts to get crazy is y'all doing the same thing, but one is getting paid highly more than the other. That's great. You may even be doing more than that said person. So I done seen all that. I done been a victim of all of that. So I'm gonna definitely check that book out. But I heard about it though. I just didn't purchase it. But yeah, Adrian, you don't want that to be your motive for motivation, man. You can't be moved by proving other people wrong. Because again, that's showing and proving that you being controlled by external sources, and you don't want that. You don't want your motivation to be something that's external, and that's external motivation. Being moved by other people. SG, most definitely. That's definitely crazy. Dennis Robinson, I mean, a lot of holy books say that. Elijah Muhammad been talking about that. Who's in control and who's in power right now, but he also lets you know that their time is running up or running out, which they know and they understand this. They know and they understand that. So that's why when you striving to be righteous, which that is your true nature. So when you strive to be righteous, you get met with a lot of resistance. The reason why you get met with that resistance is because is because of that wickedness that's in control, that's in power right now. They have brainwashed the masses. So again, like I talked about in the previous video, the momentum of the world, like the majority in regards to the energy, it's negative, it's chaotic, it's wicked energy. So when you strive to be righteous, you're going against that grain. So that's why you get those obstacles and whatnot when you strive to make positive changes. When you strive to make righteous changes, you get met with a lot of resistance. That's why, because we're dealing with people who are like wicked by nature, who have been brainwashed, who are lost, who don't know who they are. Then you got the people who know who those people are, but they are teaching them otherwise. Which again, that goes back to our degrees, to our lessons. So I told y'all who the 85% is. The 10% will be the people that's in charge of them, that's controlling them, that's brainwashing them. The slave makers of the poor, who teach that the almighty true and living God is a spook who cannot be seen by the physical eye, otherwise known as bloodsuckers of the poor. That's the 15th degree in our lessons in the 1 of 40. That's that 10%. Those are the wicked people that you're talking about, Dennis. Those are the bloodsuckers of the poor, the rich slave makers. They know the truth, but they teaching otherwise. They teaching other than the truth that they know. So that 10% that's at the top, they know the truth, but they are intentionally teaching falsehood to the people in order to control them, in order to manipulate their minds. So this is what they're doing. And these are the people that we got to deal with in everyday society, the people that have been brainwashed and manipulated. See, we're not necessarily dealing with that 10%. We don't see them. That's the unseen hand. We got to deal with the people who have been made slaves mentally. So that's why it can be frustrating and complicated at times, because they have been manipulated to live out the agenda of that 10%. Those wicked people that are in control, that are in positions of power, because they are intentionally teaching that falsehood. So that's what we dealing with. That's what we dealing with when we strive to be righteous. We dealing with that. We dealing with a 10% that's wicked by nature, that's teaching the falsehood, and we dealing with an 85% that have been influenced by that 10%. So that's 95% going against us. Oh yeah, Adrian. When it comes down to image, again, man, like I said, I can speak from image. I can speak for that personally, because again, obviously, you see, I got a certain image, so I knew that this was gonna be the way that I always rock with locks. Like, I'm more in tune with myself when I got these locks. People look at it like it's just hair. I said, nah, it's deeper than that. These my antennas. It's a part of me. This ain't just hair. It may be just hair to you. It's a deeper connection for me. This represents growth, represents wisdom. So I grow along with these locks. So I knew this was always going to be something that I included in my lifestyle with my image. So I was like, that's another reason why I knew corporate America wasn't going to work for me, because they wasn't going to accept this type of image at certain levels. So I was going to hit that ceiling, because people like me don't reach certain levels. So I knew and understood that, hence what led to me creating my own lane, because I got to make my own rules. So I got an image that I'm comfortable with, that I accept, that I embrace, and I'm gonna see to it that I'm able to embrace this image freely without people striving to discriminate against me because of my image and hold me down because of that. Lindell, most definitely, most definitely. When you got certain pieces of knowledge, man, even just when you love knowledge, man, you conduct yourself in a certain manner. Now, and it's a 5% within everything. So you do have your people that possess this knowledge but don't act accordingly. So they just stop at the one and they don't put things in motion. RSG, I'm gonna do the reason why I didn't break down who the 5% is yet. I'm gonna do a whole video on that, so people can be more in tune with basically what I represent, what I stand for. So I'm gonna break down the 5%. That's gonna be a whole video to basically break the culture down from my perspective, man, and just what made me gravitate towards it, why I embrace it so much. So I'm gonna do a whole video on that. So you're gonna get the breakdown of that. Yeah, you're gonna get the breakdown of that. But I'm saving that. We're gonna build on that though. You know what's crazy, SG2? You say I am that I am. I got a book. And I'm finna try to pull it up so I can give y'all the exact title for it. Like, it's a book called I Am That, I believe. Yep, I Am That. It's like a yogi that wrote that book. That book is powerful. So it's crazy that you say I am that I am, because I got this book called I Am That. It's written by a yogi. I'm not even about to try to pronounce that name because I know I can't pronounce it. But it's just written by one of them yogi dudes that got one of them strange Indian names, you know, so I can't pronounce it. So I'm not even about to try to do it. But I Am That. That's a good book. You can look that up on Amazon. That's a powerful joint. Oh, Shane, most definitely, man. If I already know and understand how I would feel if I were to cut my locks off. Like, I already know, especially this is the thing. If I cut them off because I made the decision, I decided to cut them off, that's one thing. But if I had to cut off my locks because I was forced to, I would not feel good about that at all, because I feel like I'm selling myself out. And I do not like that feeling. But if I just wake up and decide, all right, man, I'm done with the locks, then I'll be okay. But if I'm forced to do it and I feel like I'm forced to cut them off to work a job, or, you know what I'm saying, to please somebody else, that's going to be a problem. Like, I'm not comfortable with feeling like I sold myself out. I'm not comfortable with that feeling. Like, I can't live with that. Like, that doesn't sit well with me. Like, I broke down to y'all in previous videos about my high school trying to make up when I was in high school, they tried to make us cut our hair, and I fought that, and I came out on top with that. So I ain't never, like, the system has been trying to slow me down for a minute. I'm gonna find a way to rebel against that system, man. They tried to put in that rule. I found a way around that rule. Didn't have to cut my hair. SG, most definitely. Most definitely. Most definitely. You definitely wouldn't have that knowledge, man. Like I said, these my antennas. I have grown along with my locks, man. So that's why I say it represents growth for me. And that's just for me personally. Yeah, SG, I agree, man. If you can, I feel like we all should try to grow our hair out. Like, if you had the ability to grow some locks, I feel like at one point you should just attempt to do it. Like, what's the worst that can happen? You just won't like it and you just go back to whatever style you had before. Oh, Shane, let's get it, man. Welcome to the club. Welcome to the club, yo. And it's definitely a powerful vibe, SG, with the locks. Powerful vibe. And I can feel the intimidation when I walk in when I go to certain places. I can feel the intimidation. Man. When people just see the locks, man, they can, like, I can sense that intimidation in certain places. Hence why they try to make rules, how they try to put these rules in place in order for us to cut our hair and stuff like that. Man, they know the power. They know the power behind this image. And they control freaks. So they want to be able to tell you what to do and when to do it, how to do it. Nah, I'm not rolling like that. Yeah, SG, most definitely. That's why I tell everybody to always ask yourself that question. What's the worst that can happen? 9 times out of 10, it's not as bad as you think. It's not as bad as you was perceiving. So before you choose to embark on any endeavor, ask yourself, what's the worst that can happen? Even when people think about going in business for themselves, I'm like, again, what's the worst that can happen? Oh, you can just go back into the workplace, go right back into corporate America, what you were doing before. Like, that's the worst that can happen. But even when it comes to stuff like that, man, you just have your plan A, and then that be it. That be it. You don't need that plan B. Plan A is gonna be that's gonna be all that you need. Hey, Dynasty, that's still a word for us. Bonafide, I definitely don't agree. I definitely don't agree with what most people are doing. Hence why I'm the way that I am. Lindell, I saw that, and I saw that, and I could relate because that was me. They tried to make, man, like, I was ahead of my time, and I'm glad I was. But they was trying to make me come out. I remember this to this day. One of my coaches on the football team was saying that they can't have us with our hair coming out of our helmets. And I had detention before a football game on a Saturday, and I was the starting running back. I had detention before an actual game because my hair was too long. So they criminalized me. They made me look like a criminal because I had long hair. So I'm in detention. Detention is where you send the bad kids. I was in detention with the kids who were acting out, but I was only in there because my hair was too long. So I didn't do anything but have long hair, but I was being criminalized as if I was a bad person. So that's basically prison for school. So I was I was in detention as if I had did something, but I had long hair, and they didn't want my hair coming out my helmet, and I decided not to cut it. So they gave me detention before the game. So that's the type of stuff, like, I can relate to that team, man, because I had to deal with that before they pushed it as heavy as they pushing it now. So I was able to fight it. Oh, Dizzy, that's crazy. Gotta cut you. Matter of fact, and it's crazy that you mentioned that, because I was when I had first got out of college, it was crazy. I was talking to an elder for like a security job, and that's one thing that he told. He's like, man, you're gonna have to cut your hair and this, that, and third. I was like, man, what? So we already know how that turned out. Didn't end up taking that type of job. But that elder told me that, and that killed my respect. But I never disrespect my elder. But when he told me that, I was just like, respectfully, sir, I disagree with you. I don't have to cut my hair in order to make it out here. And if he is still alive, he should know that I'm doing some powerful things. I didn't have to cut my hair. Oh yeah, SG Einstein was wild with it. Einstein was wild with it. Einstein was like weird, yo. In that regards, man, they said he used to wear the same clothes. And he used to wear the same clothes because he didn't want his brain, like, he tried to preserve brain energy. So he felt like if he had to decide what to wear, like, he would have to utilize brain energy in order to do that. So he wanted to preserve his mental energy for things of importance. So he chose to wear the same thing. He chose to wear the same clothes to preserve that brain energy so he could utilize it for something else. He didn't want to utilize that energy to decide what to wear. I was like, whoa, now that's too extreme for your boy. That's too extreme for your boy. But I read that about Einstein, and I thought that was crazy. But yeah, his hair was crazy. I mean, you can even go to like the Bible. You can even go, you can even go to all those religious figures. I mean, look how the Bible breaks down what Jesus looked like. Man, hair wool. Like, dude, I'm pretty sure. I mean, if locks were a thing, and hypothetically speaking, if somebody like that existed, Dude had some type of locks. He wasn't clean cut. I can tell you that much. I can tell you all of these so-called prophets, none of them were probably clean cut. I can guarantee that. And that was and the crazy thing about it, to show y'all how rebellious I was, because I went to a Lutheran high school. So I brought all that up. I said, y'all got us in these Old Testament, these New Testament, these religious classes. I'm like, do y'all know and understand that everybody that we reading about in these books, all these men had hair like me? So that was the start of my rebellious mentality right there, man. I was like, y'all got us in this private school, this Lutheran school. Y'all pushing the Bible on us. Y'all teaching us about these religious figures, these men in the Bible, and they all had hair similar to mine. But yet y'all trying to implement a rule as if my hair is a problem. So why y'all teaching us about a Jesus, and I'm pretty sure he had long hair if he existed, based off of how the Bible describes him. So now y'all telling me that the way I'm looking is wrong, but then y'all teaching me about a figure that had the same type of image that I am portraying. So that was interesting to me. I brought that up, and I guess y'all know how that went. That didn't work out too well for me. They didn't like that. But I mean, it was the truth. It was the actual fact. They really couldn't argue that. So they got into their feelings. They was mad that a 16 or 17-year-old was coming at them like that. But I'm like, show and prove to me where it's people in this Bible that were clean cut, that look like you. Reggie, if your head is bald, then embrace that. I mean, if you know what I'm saying, if that's what's happening to you, embrace it. Embrace it. You ain't necessarily got to grow your hair. I'm just saying, if you got the ability to do it, it's a great thing. If not, still do you and be you. Either way, you good. But yeah, they had me messed up at that particular school when they tried to enforce that. I was like, nah, we gonna go to war with that. I'm gonna let y'all know some facts that y'all failing to teach and realize. So when I start presenting that type of stuff, they realized they had a problem on their hand. So I'm getting stuff like detention. So that's why a lot of people don't understand where my perspective in life came from. It came from a lot of stuff like that. Getting detention because you have long hair. Like, I was getting criminalized for no apparent reason. No apparent reason, man. There was a lot of people acting way worse than I was. And here I had to be penalized because I'm choosing to grow my hair out. So now we wasn't going out like that. Yeah, we wasn't going out like that. So you got to stand for something, man. If I just would have sat down and accepted that rule and just cut my hair, man, that would have been the end of me. Like, I would have been a slave from that day forward. If they would have just made a rule and I would have accepted that, cut my hair, kept it moving, I would have been a slave to this day. I would have been a clean cut dude on this camera telling y'all to sell yourselves out instead of the person I am today. If I just would have sat down and I would have accepted that rule, man, I wouldn't have no morals, no principles, no integrity, none of that. So that built that character. So that's one thing I can give credit to. It built that character. Because I wasn't going out like that. I was going to fight. So I already know, like, when people talk about when things go down, what type of person are you going to be? I already know, because I done already did my type of fight. And I already know I'm not going to allow this system to treat me any type of way. I'm not going out like that. I haven't conformed yet to the things this system has tried to make me do. So when people talk about, oh, you going to get the vaccine like everybody else, I'm like, no, I'm not. They come out with a vaccine. I'm telling you, I'm fighting the system. If they try to make it mandatory, I'm going to be one of the ones that don't get the vaccination, don't get the vaccine. I will be that person. Oh, Shane, yeah, a lot of people call me Samson too, which is ironic, again, because I was at this Lutheran school and y'all referring to me as Samson. I mean, everybody that's in your book, they got locks, they got long hair or something. But yeah, y'all trying to make us cut off. So they were pretty unsuccessful in that regards, because I was banging on them. I was banging on them. And that's what we got to do. You got to bang on them, man. Sometimes you just got to bang on this system. The 10% that I'm talking about. Sometimes you just got to let them have it. Let them know that you know the truth and you ain't going out without a fight. You can't be passive sometimes. Sometimes you got to be assertive, aggressive. It's a time for peace and it's a time for war. So we got to know and understand that. There is a time for war. There is a time to be fighting. It's a time for all of that. It's a time to bang on the beast. Yeah, SG, it was crazy, man, because that rule just came out of nowhere, left field. So I knew it was an intimidation factor. Because why else would you make a, you know what I'm saying? Why else would you make a rule along those lines if it's not an intimidation factor? And that rule was specifically for young boys. So it wasn't a universal rule like nobody could have long hair type deal. It was specifically for us. So that's intimidation. That's intimidation. SG, yeah, most definitely. But yeah, we not going out without a fight. And that's another thing. Another way to excel by being a social outcast. Stand on your truth and fight for what you believe in or fight for what you know to be as truth. Fight for that. So when you got this system trying to put you in check and keep you in place, now you fight against that. You fight against that. Never suppress that social outcast aspect of yourself. Don't suppress that. Don't suppress that energy. Don't suppress it. So when you dealing with the corporate aspect, don't suppress it. When they say things that go against what you believe in and what you stand for, you fight that. You fight that. You let them know that you are not to be played with, you are not to be messed with. It's not going to go down without a fight. So you can make whatever rule you want to make. But best believe I'm about to fight it to the best of my ability. So that's part of being a social outcast too, that we tend to not do sometimes. We tend to suppress our feelings and suppress our energy because we tend to go against that grain a lot. You can't do that. You can't do that. You got to be comfortable with fighting. You got to be comfortable with fighting against the system, man. That's another part of being a social outcast that you have to embrace. You got to embrace the fact that you're going to have to do a lot of fighting in regards to this system because they're going to try to change who you are. They're going to try to turn you into the masses. Lindell, the little joke about that, no male in my immediate family, we do not smile. Like that's just, now that'll be that 5% genes that I'm talking about, the 5% hereditary. We just don't smile. If you ever see me in a picture with my brother and my pops, we will not be smiling. I don't care what the occasion may be. You get all three of us in the picture, we will all have the same facial expression. If they were in this video right now, we would all possess the same facial expression. And we could even be telling a joke. We could be joking. We will have this dead serious. And I got problems with that as a child, man. A lot of people used to think something was wrong with me. And I'm like, man, I'm good. It's just my facial expression. But a lot of people used to think I was like upset or something. I'm like, nah, fam, I'm good. Just my facial expression. But man, that is something that I definitely inherited and embraced from like my pops and my older brother, because we don't do that smiling. We don't do it. Dynasty, yeah, most definitely. I remember when I was in Alabama some years ago, and white guy came up to me, man, just enamored in love with like my hair. And he was trying to lock his, which was funny. But yeah, he was trying to lock his. I was in Huntsville, Alabama. And I was at some like little house party or something, man. White dude came to me, man, talking about Bob Marley and all this type of and all this type of stuff, man. Dude was just enamored and in love with my locks. Like, yeah, I'm trying to grow mine out, but it's like I can't. I was like, dude, I really don't know what to tell you, and I really don't care. But oh, yeah, most definitely. Yeah, but a lot of people that pointed that out. Oh, you never smile. So sometimes I beat people to it. So when I post a picture, I let people know, like, hey, we basically my family, we like death row. Like, you're not about to come over here smiling, dancing, none of that nonsense. We ain't coming to play over here on this side of the family. Nah, we don't smile, we don't do none of that. So coming over with to interact with the bail man is like we like Suge Knight over here. It's like death row. Everybody else is like Bad Boy and Diddy and all that with the shiny suits and the dancing. Take that, take that. Nah, we death row. Probably why I gravitated towards them more so than I gravitated towards Puffy and the boys. Like, still to this day, I don't really care for that dude. I mean, I don't care for Suge Knight neither, but like even the music I listen to just is reflective of that. It's just crazy. Diamond, most definitely. That's what people tell me too. So it's like I got a certain type of vibe that comes along with me. So I've gotten that a lot. For some people, the vibe can be intimidating. For others, it can be warming, welcoming. Oh, Dynasty, yeah. It's called that and a bunch of other things too. People just think I'm like mad or upset or something. But if you are someone who doesn't smile, I understand you. I'm here for you. I'm here with you. Nothing is wrong with you. Yeah, they asked me, yeah. They like, are you okay? What's wrong with you? You good? You need to talk about something. I'm like, yo, what? For the longest, I didn't really understand why people were asking me that. Then my pops broke it down to me and told me about my facial expression. And it was ironic because I'm like, dude, you got the same facial expression. So, like, you telling me about my facial expression, but you got the same facial expression. Well, Dynasty, we are glad that you balance us out because I do not do a lot of that. But we glad that you balance us out here. So we'll let you do the smiling for us all. For those of us that don't smile. Oh yeah, most definitely, Lindell. Like my sister, she smiles. It's a male thing on our end. We just don't do it. I mean, it could be the happiest picture that we taken, and we not smiling. Everybody in that picture, it could be 20 of us in it. Everybody could be smiling, but if it's me, my brother, and my pops, we in that picture, we not smiling. Oh yeah, Justin, most definitely, man. It's it's crazy. And then you always got the people that try to make, oh yeah, you got a nice smile. That may be true and all, but I'm chilling. Like I call it the chill face, man. I don't know. I'm stuck on chill face mode. Like that's my chill face. I'm always chilling. Like you know how when you chilling, you got a certain facial expression, man. And I feel like that's my chill face. So like when I'm chilling, I got the same face. I just keep that expression. Which is why a lot of people refer to me as that type of individual. Oh man, you be chilling, man. You so laid back. I'm like, I'm laid back until you continuously grind my gears and get on my nerves. Then I got to get out of chill mode. Then I got to let you know that you bothering me, disturbing my peace. Then I go back to being in chill mode. But I had brought this up a few videos ago. Y'all want to ask again? I know where a lot of y'all are located. I know where most of y'all are located because y'all have mentioned it before. But I said I'm working on setting up this speaking engagement summer of 2021. And I want to ask y'all, what do y'all think would be a good location, a good neutral location for everybody? I'm thinking somewhere down south, but I could be wrong. But what do y'all think would be a good neutral location for everybody to come together, man, for this to be a powerful like workshop type deal? I'm just trying to get some ideas so I can put some things into motion and start setting this stuff up. So what do y'all think would be some good locations, man, for everybody to come together and build? Yeah, you know what's crazy is I was actually checking the analytics for my video. A lot of people that be tuning in and tapped in are in Florida. So I didn't even know that, man. So I looked at the analytics and I'm like, all right, you know what's crazy? Crazy how the world works, but this is something I already knew. But most of the people that rock with me, best believe not too many of them are where I'm actually at in St. Louis. So that's crazy. But I mean, I build with a lot of people. I build with a lot of people here in St. Louis. Adrian, I don't want to bring him to St. Louis. Nope. One of the reasons why is because I actually want to go somewhere else. So that's really the main reason, because I actually want to travel somewhere else. Because really, I only go to like the same places, man. So I actually want to get out. I'm either in Mississippi or I'm either in St. Louis. Sweet tea, that's crazy. I was actually considering moving out there to Vegas at a point in time. All right, down to see Louisiana, and I can easily set up something in Louisiana because, like I said, I got peoples scattered around there, so I can easily set up something there. Got Dallas. I got people in Dallas too. I can easily set up something there. So we got, see, it's down south like I was thinking. All right, we got VA. Oh, Shane, we definitely gonna live stream it. But like I said, it's gonna be like a 2-day thing too. So we're gonna live stream portions of it. Because I'm a best believe whoever attend, y'all gonna get y'all workout on. So yeah, be ready for that. And my workouts ain't nothing light. So be ready to work out hard. So if you plan on attending this joint, you gonna have to get your workout on, and that workout ain't gonna be nothing that's light and easy, because I don't believe in that. Dizzy can speak. Dizzy can vouch for that one, because he tried to do one of my challenges. He did. He didn't try to do. He did one of my challenges. So yeah, if you come to this 2-day joint, man, you're gonna get your workout on. You're probably gonna be sore for about a week afterwards. Just letting you know. Because we gonna go hard. We gonna get a workout in, and it's gonna be rough. Oh, okay, Sweet Tea, Seattle and Vegas. Okay. Amber, nope. I was at Atlanta. I was actually thinking about that. I have some people out there too. I have a cousin out there that I know that will hook me up if I need to go to Atlanta, man. He can set up everything for me. So I already know I got some connections down there. But again, it's looking like it's down south somewhere. It's gonna be somewhere south. But I'm trying to give y'all more than enough time to get ready for it. I'm gonna give y'all more details before the year ends. But we gonna do this thing. We're gonna do this thing. It's gonna be big. But like I said, one of the things that's gonna happen for sure is we gonna work out. Y'all gonna get a taste of the boot camp life. Yeah, Dynasty, you better build it up because like I had a brother. And speaking of Vegas, Dizzy and Sweetie, I had a brother that actually came down here from Vegas, and he got a workout in with me at my gym. So he flew down here, and he actually, because he got a sister that live here too. So he said he planning on, because he works from home, he's able to work from home. So he's looking to come down here for like a month and have me training for a month after that workout because I destroyed him. And he came from Vegas. But yeah, y'all better get that strength up, because I'm gonna test it. Lachelle, whoa, father. Oh, okay. His last name is Bell. He was from St. Louis. Interesting, because I don't know a lot of people on the Bell side. Ironically enough, that's my last name, but I don't know a lot of people on that side. So man, that we may be related. What's his first name? But yeah, we gonna get it in. We gonna get it in high intensity interval training style. Well, I got a whole new style of training that I like to implement. You know, I create. I come up with my own style, and I'm gonna introduce y'all to that style. Y'all probably gonna hate it for the time being, but it is what it is. And for those that plan on complaining while working out, you might as well save that, because I don't receive that too well. I just pretty much ignore all that, because you will be all right at the end of the day. So it's looking like we're gonna set up shop somewhere down south. That's where it's looking like. So now I just gotta figure out where at. And I got a lot of people scattered all throughout the south. So it's just a matter of me picking one of those places. And we gonna get it popping in the summer of 2021. We don't care what's happening with the COVID. We ain't worried about that. Because we're gonna have immunity in the building. Our immune system's gonna be protected because we gonna be taking care of ourselves. So we're not worried about no second outbreak. We're not gonna live in that fear. We ain't worried about it. Our immune system's gonna be ready, gonna be strong, gonna be powerful. Oh yeah, Amber, get on it. I took a week off from posting my workouts, man. I was doing some other stuff, so I didn't get a chance to film my workouts. But I'm back on it. I'm back on it this coming week. 3 workouts a week. Y'all gonna get them. And Dynasty, I haven't forgot about the glutes. I haven't forgot about them. Definitely got your workout coming up first for that. And I need to tell my dudes too. See, a lot of we didn't let women do these glute exercises, but we neglect ours. Man, y'all need to build up the glutes just like women. That's part of your core, man. Without that solid foundation, that's your foundation. So again, when I talk about glute training, like dudes tend to not embrace that as much as women do, rightfully so. But we need strong glutes as well. We need well-developed glutes as well. So that's something that us men, we need. Like I actually had a brother in the gym was talking about that. And I was like, wait a minute, Joe. So he was like, he chooses not to like squat. He didn't squat in the gym because he didn't want large glutes and he didn't want to develop his glutes and stuff like that. I said, dude, what? Like you neglect, like, come on, man. The squat is that's one of the main 3 exercises that you need to be doing. And you choose not to do that because of the impact it's gonna have on your glutes. So you got a weak foundation. So you so focused on the upper body that your foundation is weak. So I can easily knock you over, knock you down because you don't have a solid foundation. Glutes, legs, quads, hamstrings, calves. Like, nah. Lindell, nope, we will never get reparations. No. So that's just why we gotta go out and do for ourselves, because they're not gonna give us what we deserve, what we need. Not gonna happen. So we just gotta go get it for ourselves. All right, Lachelle, I'm gonna ask my people, does that ring a bell? I'm gonna ask my pops, does that ring a bell? Louis Bell, I'm gonna see what's going on there. We may be connected. Yeah, down to see a lot of dudes don't want to do the booty exercises, man. They don't want to do them, but hey, you'll benefit from doing. I got a whole entire book on glute development, and it stresses the importance of developing the glutes from the male perspective and the women perspective. So dudes, again, don't neglect that. So when I post the glute workout, it may be for Donna because she requested it, but y'all need to do that exact workout. Because I'm gonna tell you, my foundation is solid because just from playing college ball, like we did a lot of glute work. We did a lot of glute work playing college ball, man, and I was at my best. I was in my best shape. And I had my highest level of strength when I was doing all of that glute work, all of those squats. Paid off. So nah, man, we need to prioritize our glutes across the board. Because that's part of your core. So it looked like 2021, we're gonna be setting up shop somewhere down south. We're gonna figure out a location. Give me about a week or so. I'll probably have a location. Then I'll probably have more details for you all. I'm gonna start with my immediate fam on here in regards to letting y'all know about this particular situation. Then I may let other people know. But I don't want too many people getting hip to this. I want this to be kind of small, man, kind of intimate. I don't really want too many outsiders because again, you know how that tends to go. So with that being said, man, this was a nice dialogue, nice stream, very positive, powerful Saturday. It was wonderful building with you all. I got some things I got to go tend to. Got to get my grub on, man. Got to get some reading in. Got to do the knowledge for the day. I done already trained my people so I can just sit back and I can chill. Yeah, Amber, let's get it. We all, because I won't be traveling. I may be traveling further than most of y'all in regards to this particular event. So we gonna get our travel on. And I'm honored that you would be willing to travel just to be a part of it. So that's peace right there. But it's been nice, y'all. It's been nice building with y'all, man. Y'all continue to enjoy this Saturday and your weekend. Get some things done. Stay positive, stay productive, stay peaceful. I'm out, y'all. Y'all continue to build on that positive, destroy the negative. Peace.